Wait, what? Yeah, what's good, y'all? Back at it again with another reaction. My name is Shadiq, and you're now locked into Crossover Media. Listen, every single plugged in, I keep saying this since last year to now, has been mad. People are saying RV's is not the best one. I just did Pete and Baz's. That one was insane. I said that one, in my opinion, is definitely top 3, at least top 5. People saying this is the best one now. So I know that RV actually just dropped the project. This is actually a really good idea to help promote that project, if that's why he did it. But I don't want to spend too much time with his introduction. I'm not going to hold y'all too much longer. Let's get it. Rickson, okay.
Katie.
I don't recognize that tag.
Yo, RV, plugged in.
Alright, I don't know who's behind what aspect of the beat, but I've been noticing that there are definitely some producers like Rickson, Mason, Caesar, who they do very different, very subtle things with their, their bass lines and everything. So
Rico Vandal, mixtape out soon. Check it. RV.
5 up blocks, where should I go? It did dude. Put things in coops and get round there for the victim youths. Had a kitchen when I touch.
what is this beat reminding me of?
New York block, got me on maps trying to plan my route. Plan it. Shootout drive, thank me too.
I'm just gonna keep playing. It's reminding me of another plugged in.
RV.
5 up blocks, where should I go? It did dude. Put things in coops and get round there for the victim youths. Had a kitchen when I touch. Had a thing when I touch. Had a when I got down. Wait, that was a catch too. My Mercedes on me, I just laughed out loud like, hey, this joke. He held friend got both got bored of comparing notes. Pulled up on.
You know what? I think I see what he's doing here, because if you look at the way that he's been promoting the creative direction for his mixtape, you will see that there's like images of him with the Bally on, there's images of him without it. If I recall correctly, maybe I'm wrong, but in fact I remember seeing things like that. I think what he's doing is that if this is in a way connected to the fact that he's promoting his mixtape, he's showcasing different aspects of himself at different points in time, similarly to like what Gets did with Conflict of Interest.
Pulled up on swung my can I tear this coat? Would have been scenes if I had my one out the window and air that smoke. Man tried this or mention the guys, you know what that is. Gangs in a rag, got trouble in school for the left of my time.
First of all, that transition was clean in the video. Second of all, I'm liking this beat a lot. Whose beat? It's reminding me of Rush's Plugged In. That's what it was. It was reminding me of the way the snares came in on Rush's Plugged In. That's what it was. The snares or the hi-hats, one or the other, but that's what it was reminding me of.
Got trouble in school for the left of my time. I was man get pulled in Texas to glide. I took wash bear and went on the glide. The O's in my blood, I rep it for life. 2 and a 2, pressing it twice. If you ain't on smoke, step to the side.
This flow, I didn't look at the track listing on the mixtape, but I really want to hear what RV and Abs would sound like on a track together. Wonder what RV and Ispot would sound like. Even RV and Bando with this new flow that he's been on lately too, Bando K. I wonder.
When I pull up with gang and we bust doors, best run or this you done for. Leave my 6 feet.
He does that a lot. I'm starting to notice that there's certain artists where they have a thing that when you hear that cadence, or like, I guess the cadence, or obviously the flow, you can definitely tell that it's RV. RV has this thing where he does the thing where he says this and then that, and like, I don't know how else to replicate the flow, but he does that a lot, now that I'm really thinking about it.
When I pull up with gang and we bust doors, best run or this you done for. Leave my 6 feet down under, like 1-4. Got on his back of the...
Wait, what? Is that a 1-4 reference from... Y'all let me know in the comment section down below. That's one of those that's definitely going over my head. Or if I find it, I'll put it on the screen like I always do. But that one's kind of going over my head real quick. Under, because it's under. Whatever, over my head.
When I pull up with gang and we bust doors, best run or this you done for. Leave my 6 feet down under, like 1-4. Got on his back, could've turned him if I gave him one more. Lifestyles like GTA, I wish I could buy on his back, could've turned him if I gave him one more. Lifestyles like GTA, I wish I could buy one from the gun store. Still cock that thing or tint them windows, change them plates. Grab that mash and get round there with a pagan stare. 5 bill for the tea, that's a monkey.
Yeah, what's really amplifying this for me is the snares and the hi-hats. I believe these are snares. whatever, y'all will correct me or not in the comments, but like that's what's really amplifying the flow here. I think that it's definitely like that little like just that little layer to it. Again, it's reminding me of Russia's Plugged In. That's what it was reminding me of. It's adding another, I don't know how to describe it, just adding another layer.
Grab that mash and get round there with a pagan stare. 5 bill for the tea, there's a monkey in my top, no bathing it. How can you
like if you peep it, like the moments when he kind of does a little bit, I don't want to necessarily say a skippy flow, when he kind of does, for lack of a better way to put it, I'm gonna say skippy for now, right? Then the snares come in as well. That can or may not be on purpose, but I don't know. It's just something I'm picking up on.
5 bill for the tea, there's a monkey in my top, no bathing it. How can you run when your friend?
Man said that's clever.
How can you run when your friend got done? Dickhead, come back and save your mate. They ain't putting no work, the man are at home. It's coming like furlough. I've gone Old Bailey in that circle.
Wait. Okay, because in the beginning I'm just like, yeah, just standard drill. Also, I appreciate the fact that he always wears that. I believe the DXT stands for drillers and trappers, but I appreciate the fact that he wears that chain often. But I think it's like an allusion to a mixtape that he did in the past. But anyway, if he's been doing things like that in the beginning and that's what I was missing on, then I apologize. But if I recall quickly, he said something about work and then getting furloughed.
They ain't putting no work, the man are at home. It's coming like furlough. I've gone Old Bailey in that circle. Before Lil Herb turned to Herbo. Moose, Canada Goose. Gotta trade deuce tucked under my fur coat. The man are involved in the net. See them and a flirt. They said that they won though. Pull up and crash when I jump out. I ain't exchanging details. I done drills and I beat my ting. Before I got a drill beating my emo. Back my ting. Push it in a pussy on the up block. Treat him like female.
Man said I was doing it before I was getting beats. Alright. I see. He was doing what he was doing before he was making music. I get it. You know, I'm not gonna lie. This is definitely making a strong case for why RV can hold his own. I've been saying that occasionally here and there about different artists in OFB. Every once in a while I'll do a reaction. I'll say they can hold their own. Because OFB, they're smart as a collective. They make music together. They put the hashtag. They're very smart. So I like the fact that Heady and RV in general are showing the world that they don't have to be attached to each other's hip. Rather, they aren't attached to each other's hip. Like, they can have their own identities and make their own music. So I appreciate and I respect the fact that he did this by himself and the fact that he's holding his own.
Gonna take news tucked under my fur coat. The man are involved in the net. See them and a flirt. They said that they won though. Pull up and crash when I jump out. I ain't exchanging details. I done drills and I beat my ting. Before I got a drill beating my emo. Back my ting. Push it in a pussy on the up block. Treat him like females. Got man down in my Jordan's pissed.
Yeah. He started picking it up around that 1 minute range. Once I clocked that furlough bar, I was like, I had to start paying attention even more because he's saying some stuff. I'm still processing the damn
my ting, push it in a pussy on
that part.
Treat him like females. Got man down in my Jordan's pissed. The cause of my ting at resale. Stepped out inconspicuous, mask and gloves, and I went cause of COVID. That day I would have got down.
That reminds me of was it Millions? Is that? Because he also made, but there was somebody else who said something about they were wearing a mask before COVID. If y'all know the other person who relatively recently made a bar about how they had a mask since before COVID, drop that in the comment section down below. I wouldn't doubt that it's one of those that a couple of people have taken and said in their own ways, but let me know if y'all think you know what I'm referring to and I'll respond.
Stepped out inconspicuous, mask and gloves, and I went cause of COVID. That day I would have got down, bad in the catch him, lucky that bro did. Came a long way from socials. My year different to oceans. How you got beef and you ain't got heat? Focus on bread, don't get yourself toasted. Need to ride out just cause I'm bored.
Man, yeah, the wordplay he's using here is not like grand and in your face and just like rah. Like, you really gotta take it in because he doesn't deliver super boastfully. Like, there are people that when they deliver their punchlines, they're like really out there with it. People like Fizzler, for example. I don't want to keep saying the same names. I say the same names all the time, but there are people who, like, when they deliver their punchlines, like, they just do it in such a boastful way that you have no choice but to like recognize the fact that they just said a punchline. But RV, he's just saying it really casually. He's just gliding across the beat and just saying these things without making it like super bait that he wants you to hear that he just said a punchline.
Need to ride out just cause I'm bored. Got down in jail. If I saw him on road, he would've got booked.
I was just about to say, I was like, watch, and, you know, I need to stop doing this thing where I say something in my head and then if I would have just called it, I would look like I'm psychic or something. But anyway, I was like, he said bored. The only next logical thing he could do is actually make a bar saying bored, but the other context. But yeah.
Need to ride out just cause I'm bored. Got down in jail if I saw him on road, he would've got bored. Let me not snitch on myself and talk about scores. Go check the board. Just got a check so big, got a call from the bank, they thought it was fun.
I couldn't even fully take in where he just, mood fumes. Big mood, first of all. Second of all, that bit that they just did right there with the beat was insane. But also, like, again, he's just using his words very subtly. It's, this is a sleeper. I could see this one being one of those where it's either you really love it or you're just like meh. Like, I'm in that middle space, even though I know I just said it's two different. But anyway, I'm in that middle space where it's like I understand what people are saying. It's probably the best plugged in. Like, I get it, but I get it. I definitely get it. Like, yeah, I get it.
How you got beef and you ain't got heat? Focus on bread, don't get yourself posted. Need to ride out just cause I'm bored. Got down in jail if I saw him on road, he would've got bored. Let me not snitch on myself and talk about scores. Go check the board. Just got a check so big, got a call from the bank, they thought it was fraud. And my boss on my block. What about yours? Bought me a Percy, then I checked in for some block things. RV Van Persie, when I shoot I'm aiming for top bins. Whole 5 years I was...
Yeah, it's like... I'm not going crazy for the punchlines. Like, sometimes I'll literally be like standing on my seat or whatever. But what it is this time around is I just can't help but respect and appreciate how smoothly he's weaving in his punchlines right now. Like, it's just, when something is just so good, you just gotta, I don't want to say marvel at it, but you just gotta be like, yeah, like I see you, I see what you're doing. I honestly feel like this might have done better as a Daily Duppy. I think this one might have done better as a Daily Duppy in my opinion, but it is what it is.
RV Van Persie, when I shoot I'm aiming for top bins. Whole 5 years I was locked in. Should've run something, talk is cheap, but he said he's on bro. You know how that goes, that's gonna cost him. Been uptown doing that lifestyle. Felt telling me I should rap more. I told Bay that I'd change, he said that's the case, but he buying these rap for. Try to say we're just rappers, like we ain't drillers and trappers. Pull up and shoot, they cut from the scene, the man are just actors. I gotta get rich now, cause if... things. RV Van Persie, when I shoot I'm aiming for top bins. Whole 5 years I was locked in. Should've run something, talk is cheap, but he said he's on bro. You know how that goes, that's gonna cost him. Been uptown doing that lifestyle. Felt telling me I should rap more. I told Bay that I'd change, he said that's the case, but he buying these rap for. Try to say we're just rappers. Like
He said if you changed, why you still reverting to your old ways?
That's gonna cost him. Been uptown doing that lifestyle. Felt telling me I should rap more. I told Bay that I'd change, he said that's the case, but he buying these rap for. Try to say we're just rappers, like we ain't drillers and trappers. Pull up and shoot, they cut from the scene, the man are just actors. I gotta get rich now, cause if not I might not.
Again, like, pull up and shoot, cut, right? Obviously you're shooting with a camera, cut the scene. Like, I wouldn't doubt that there's a lot of those kinds of bars that I miss, so I'll do my best to edit this accordingly. But yeah, I think this should have been a Daily Duppy. This is Daily Duppy worthy.
But he buying these rap for. Try to say we're just rappers, like we ain't drillers and trappers. Pull up and shoot, they cut from the scene, the man are just actors. I gotta get rich now, cause if not I might not get an next shot again. And if not, I'll get shot again. That's me in a long black coat on the up block, man's not hot again.
Again, it's like I heard it, I was actually processing it because it was something I wanted to say, because I actually do want to do a video on the future of drill and the longevity of the artist and everything. But the fact that he said I gotta get rich now, if not, it's right back to what I was doing before.
I gotta get rich now, cause if not I might not get an next shot again. And if not, I'll get shot again. That's me in a long black coat on the up block, man's not hot again. Along with metal in the nose like Dennis Rodman. Oh shit, I mean Rodman. Try to say we're just rappers, like we ain't drillers and trappers. Pull up and shoot, they cut from the scene, the man are just actors. I gotta get rich now, cause if not I might not get an next shot again. And if not, I'll get shot again. That's me in a long black coat on the up block, man's not hot again. Along with metal in the nose like Dennis Rodman. Oh shit, I mean Rodman. Who wants a problem? Got a flag red to run Tottenham. If they lack, we got them. Get shot or stabbed, they got options. Bad beef, stick out your tongue. Come, take my kids like adoption.
What a line to end it on, first of all. Second of all, see, that adoption line just, hold on. I don't even remember what I was going to say anymore. Let me just press play. Hopefully I remember what I was gonna say.
Oh shit, I mean Rodman. Who wants a problem? Got a flag red on Tottenham. If they lack, we got them. Get shot or stabbed, they got options. Bad beef, stick out your tongue. Come, take my kids like adoption.
Fuse, the engineer.
Who's the other producer on this? It was Rickson and KT. Yeah. So in this channel, we hold the vowels. That means we're gonna get straight into it. And I'm giving this one a 9.5. I understand every argument for why people may say that this is the best plugged in. I get it. I would definitely put this one among the top 5. Like closer to like an objective top 5. Like there are reasons why this one is better than some of the others. Like I definitely get it. It isn't my personal favorite. I'm still giving my personal favorites to Pete and Baz, A92, 98, even Nino and B, I believe Work Rate, their second version. Like those are plugged ins that get me excited. This one was really good, but it didn't get me excited. But I can separate my personal emotional response from what he did technically and all the reasons why this is a very good plugged in. And from the top with the flows, this is like RV really showing that he's refined his flow. Like he's really owning that flow. Like these are flows that even if you've only heard 1 or 2 RV songs, or you can't even necessarily name a bunch of RV songs off the top of your head, you know that you've heard this flow. And he's just used it in ways where he's slightly tweaking and remixing things that he's done in the past. That's something I say, I believe I said it in the Pete and Baz reaction too. That's one of the things that makes a really good utilization of an artist's flow, the way that they're able to take it and then remix it for future use. Now with regards to the beat here, this is a world-class beat. This is probably one of the better plugged in beats for sure. Obviously Rickson, he's no slouch. I'm not familiar with the other artists that was on this one, so I don't know exactly who did what, but they both did a very good job in general putting together this beat. There really wasn't a lot about this beat that really excited me, but the moments that I really was like paying attention and I was able to, either that or the moments when the beat forced me to pay attention, I was like, yeah, I can definitely acknowledge what makes this really good. But even like right now, like I can't fully play it back in my head to remember exactly what makes this one really like super duper unique and ownable. Like it had a lot of those moments where the 808s was just on some next level. For me, kind of reminded me of dubstep a little bit. I know sometimes people say that like drill gets its influence from grime. There are instances where I could pick up on it, so I get it. In this instance, it kind of reminded me a little bit of what Caesar did in Selective Bad Boys.
Selective Bad Boys, sure. Could never be us, man. Got by bare 9mm. Fill it up for anybody that want beef us. They're talking the social media, but we done him already. I can hear this week up.
But overall, this one is just missing a little something that just really hooked me in, especially after hearing what 91 Shots did with that Fuji sample on the Pete and Baz plugged in. I'm gonna be talking about that for a minute because that one is definitely gonna be a point of reference for a lot of the things that I'm gonna be looking forward to when it comes to plugged in. I think maybe it's the fact that I personally love to hear like vocal samples and things like that in beats. Those tend to be the things that really get me hyped. So that's probably what it's missing. But other than that, overall, very good beat. It had those moments like I kept saying where those small little taps kind of kicked in and then he was matching the flow with those taps and vice versa, whether it be that the producer heard what he wanted to do with it and then they kind of molded aspects of it, or the fact that RV may have heard it and then did what he needed to do on the beat overall. But yeah, this beat definitely did remind me of that Rush plugged in. That's one of the things that just kept playing in my head. So that's probably another one of the reasons why I'm not super excited about it, because the things that I loved about those aspects in the Rush plugged in, I'm hearing it again. So it's not even necessarily like I'm reacting to it for the first time per se. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. The highlights of this one is definitely the lyricism. I don't think there's really too much for me to say. I said a lot of things about his lyricism earlier, but one of the things I love about RV, at least in this particular freestyle, was he did something that I've been urging a lot of artists to do when it comes to those who are just really technical with their wordplay. Find ways to make your wordplay match the overall narrative. So that way, whatever it is you're saying, whatever the image you're trying to paint is, or rather the image you're trying to compare the overall narrative to, it doesn't take away from that larger story. That's something I've been complaining about. I mean, not necessarily complaining, but that's something I've been giving feedback about for a while now. And that's something that RV did a really good job here. Like, you can really hone in on what it is he's saying, and then after the fact, sometimes it's kind of like you're realizing what he just put together. Versus other times, I kind of feel like artists really make the punchline itself stand out and not necessarily the whole narrative. And to close it out, honestly, I get why this one is good, but I'm not really running to play this one back. I think part of it might be the RV's flow and his voice. It just doesn't really captivate me. Like, I can again acknowledge why people like it, but it's not one of those that gets me excited. Like somebody like T-Way, his voice gets me excited. know what I mean? Like when I hear like just that uniqueness in his voice, and that grittiness and all of that, and then the way he pairs it up with his flow, it's about like Millions, who he has like the upper levels in his voice, and then he uses his, again, right? It's something about RV's flow and his voice. It just doesn't really captivate me that much, but that's just really personal preference. I think also part of it may have to be with what I said earlier about the beat. It's a very good beat, but it doesn't have anything that makes me want to run back to hear it for the beat. But I do have to give this one that extra 0.5 compared to what I might have given this one otherwise, because I want to go back and see what are all the little things that he threw in there wordplay wise that I may have missed. But I think I said enough at this point. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section down below. If you're able to separate your personal opinion from what you think would be a more objective standpoint, what do you think are your personal top 3 or top 5 plugged-ins versus like the overarching, like more objective top 3 or top 5? I could see this one really making a solid argument for top 5, especially with what I said about the way that he uses his wordplay. But anyway, as always, hang tight for some more reactions. I do got more of those coming for y'all, but until next time, peace.